Hey guys, back here again. Chris Crew, your host of the Vendor Voice. I am so excited today. You're gonna be literally just blown away. And this is the reason why. We're gonna talk to an accountant. We're gonna talk accounting, but he's the funniest accounting person that I have ever met. He has a sense of humor, and it doesn't hurt the fact that he's Canadian as well. Spencer, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm great, thank you. I appreciate the intro, but also now I feel like there's pressure on me to actually show up and be funny today. So
Oh,
I'll do my best. I'll try
uh,
not to let down.
Spencer, just be yourself, and I know that that
Okay,
will be just right. But one of the
thank
things we
you.
are going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about financials, and I want to jump into that. But I do want to do just a quick intro of Shift Financial. Tell me a little about who you guys are, what you do, and then we'll get straight into the reasons why people are watching this video.
Yeah, perfect. So Shift Financial, we make accounting not suck for business owners. And we typically help with one of two problems. Either one, I don't trust my numbers. They're late, they're wrong. I always have to be pulled in and I'm trying to sort it out. I don't like doing that. I'm not good at it anyway. Or two, I think I trust my numbers, but nobody's really helping me understand them and really what to do with them and help me make proactive decisions that are based in sound financial uh, information. So that's typically who we help. Our number one industry is trades, HVAC, plumbing, electric, roofing, etc., and really help business owners and contractors change the world by helping them through their financial blind spot. You know, every contractor I've ever met, sure, we all want to make money, but there's usually something else on top of it. You know, is it
Mhm.
is it something I want to do for my community? Do I want to make sure my family has a better life than I did growing up? I've talked to some that maybe had some addiction issues and want to help others make it through addiction. Whatever it is, it's like it starts with a solid foundation, financial foundation. So how do we actually help these business owners unlock their financial potential by making accounting suck less?
Yeah, well, I've told this story. I think Spencer, I've told you this story before, but this goes back to my days as a contractor as well. As an electrician, my cousin worked for Ernst and Young, and
Yeah,
everybody knows who they are.
yeah,
And he said, "Hey, Chris," and this was back in God, this was like 1997, 1998 probably. And he said to
yeah.
me, Chris, if you'll just go get your basic accounting
Mm.
degree, I can get you started on at $100,000 a year. And in 1998, that was a lot of
That's a
money.
lot of
That was a
money. Yeah.
lot of money in 1998. And so I said, yes. And so, Spencer, I don't know if I've told you this story,
Yeah.
but
Carry on though. Yeah,
I was moonlighting to
yeah,
accounting, trying to
yeah,
get my accounting degree,
yeah,
and I toughed it out for one semester, and that was about all I could do.
yeah,
This is what I know about accounting.
yeah,
It does suck
yeah.
as a
And you know what?
contractor.
It's more than that. Like honestly, like people who know I have an accounting practice now when I was doing it. So I got my CPA in 96. So that same era, I was being paid 40 grand. So I was clearly not working for Ernst and Young. Um,
You got to
uh,
get south of the border, man. You got
I
to get
got
south
it.
of the border.
Big lesson, but like I literally, when I was doing my accounting degree, I was going to work. I was physically ill. I hated the day to day processing of accounting so much. And funnily, like what we're doing now, we do that, but not because we want to do that. Like I do that because I love actually the insights that accounting brings. And we
Mm.
have to do the day to day because so many have problems. We can't do the insights without getting the basics right. So I hear you. A lot of that sucks. Luckily, there are people in the world that enjoy doing it. And it's really the insights is why it's so important, more than just like, okay, yeah, debit and a credit
It,
is this and that. That's the terrible part.
yeah, and the monotony of
Yeah,
getting the results
yeah,
into organizing, and this
yeah,
is it, organizing it into a way to where I, the business owner or the business manager, can read it, and it's not
yeah,
like reading hieroglyphics. Like I can
yeah,
actually go, here's what's going on in my
yeah,
business. But Spencer, I know something that Shift's doing, and because I know it, I'm gonna lead you there. But tell them a little bit more about what you guys do for data visualization of if
yeah.
even if you can't read a P&L on a balance sheet, Tell me a little bit more about that. Takes that hieroglyphics and turns it into
Yeah.
plain English for us to read.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back for a second. I'm going to kind of pick up what you were talking about, that hieroglyph. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling with that word.
Hieroglyphics. There you go. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
even difficult to
Um,
say.
but if you think about it in reverse for me, and I share this analogy a lot. Like a few years ago, I had to put on a new roof on my house, and the contractor um, gave me a set of plans and said, sign off on this is what you want. I'm like, I don't know how to read plans. Like, yeah, okay, that's the front door. Those look like stairs. That's the bathroom. But I can't read plans. There's notations all over the plans that I don't understand. So me signing off on plans was just completely irrelevant. Like I just didn't get the point of that. And I think it's the same in reverse. Like accounting is a technical language, right? I went to school
Mm.
for years to learn how to write, create, and interpret financials. Most contractors didn't, or maybe they were like you and did a couple courses and bailed. And so that to me is one of the biggest disservices that accountants have done for business owners, contractors, whoever, business leaders, is to go, here's our way of looking at it. You can learn from it. And I think that's a mistake. And so without actually doing a visual now, I want you to imagine a stock chart. We've all seen a stock chart. You know if the stock is going up, you know if the stock is going down. And if you have like a price volume chart, you'll see the bars at the bottom says how much was traded. So when there's a big move, you often see that big bar at the bottom. We've all seen a stock chart, whether we're investors or not. And you look at it and it just takes you a second to know exactly, is the stock going the right way? Is it going the wrong way? Right. And you don't have to be a stockbroker or an investor to really understand. And so if we can take the same thing with financial information, and take financials and pull out what is the key things and turn it into a picture, right? An example I do, if I say, okay, look at your financials and tell me the three line items, three expenses that are most over budget. You have to look at your financials and you're reading through all this data, or go, okay, well, what if, imagine a bar chart with five line items going downwards with the biggest one being the longest bar. Like when it's presented the right way and it's intuitive, we solve this language barrier between accountants and contractors and just make it super easy and intuitive, so
Mm.
that when you look at it, you go, what's going on there? Like that looks weird to me. Why is that bar longer than the other? Same thing. Why did this stock just take off? You see that, you can't help but to ask the question. And it takes it from a really complex, like, spreadsheets are hard, they're confusing, they're long, they're boring, they're make your eyes bleed. A few pictures will literally help you understand what's going on in the business. So data visualization to me is probably the easiest way to make things better in the business from a financial perspective.
I Spencer, I'm gonna go ahead and coin you with this. You ready? I'm just gonna start
Yeah.
calling you the financial whisperer. That's what I'm gonna start calling you, the
um,
financial whisperer.
I,
Why? Because you get the financials and things
yeah,
that don't make sense anymore all of a sudden start to make sense. And
yeah,
my first run of business, Spencer, I didn't understand any of that stuff when
yeah,
I owned. And so I tell people all the time when I tell that story that I didn't really own a business. I just
yeah,
owned a paycheck
yeah,
because I didn't really understood how the business made money. And I
yeah,
get it. At a high level, you got to be able to have money left over after you
sure,
pay for everything.
yeah,
We all get that. But what we
yeah,
don't know is, to your point, when those financials are organized in a way that you can then create a story around it.
yeah,
Now, I, the contractor, can go, oh, okay, well, I know
yeah,
what to go do now. And for me, that's one of the keys to profitability
yeah,
is understanding
totally,
where the money's going and what to do
yeah,
with it. So, how do you guys kind of help a contractor?
yeah,
I mean, and I'm guessing there's the contractor that comes to you that has decent books, but maybe doesn't really do much with it. There's a
yeah,
contractor maybe it's got great books. Tell me a little bit about the types of people that
yeah.
solicit your services.
Totally. And if I can just add one thing to what you're saying, is when you're in the position you were, it's also really, it can be both overwhelming and embarrassing. Like I talk to a lot of owners that are like, I should know this. Like I don't, like, I know I should have this better. So like, if you're in that boat, super common. You're not alone. Most people feel that way. And so the other thing of note is, very rarely do we get a set of books that are clean. Like the
Mm.
reality is, most businesses are really struggling with this, and particularly smaller businesses. And I'm going to say, people kind of do it on their own up to 1 million or 2 million, and then maybe they get help. It's often, my wife is doing the books, my
Yep.
mom is doing the books, my cousin's doing the books, and they're not necessarily trained. By the time you start hitting 3, 4, 5 million, it becomes really painful because everything that's not going right, like think of it, if you're a $5 million business, if you miss your profit by 1%, that's $50,000 because you missed your profitability by 1%. So it's often people that are feeling overwhelmed and I don't know how to make this better. I just know it's not working for me. That's
Mm.
kind of the crux. It's usually starting around that 2, 3, 4, 5 million. Most of our clients are contractors. We only work with service QuickBooks Online. It just makes us, our business and our processes, just, Southwest Airlines, fly one type of plane, fix one type of plane, right?
Yes.
And Service Titan is our number one sort of system that we work with our clients. And so that's kind of the demographic. And, again, if I can just extend what you were saying, one thing before is the other than data visualization, the way to help kind of understand what I need to look at is I don't care how big or small your business is, how many service lines you have, locations, we all have the same 5 aspects of our income statement: sales, cost of goods, gross profit, expenses, and net profit. Like that's it. Everybody has the same. But there's only 3 things you can do to increase the profitability of your business: increase sales, increase gross margin, decrease expenses. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's like, okay, which lever do I need to pull? And
Mm.
if it's cost of goods, if my gross margin's a problem, then we dive in one level deeper. Okay, is it labor? Is it materials? Is it other things? Because those are usually what your cost of goods are.
Oh,
And
and
then from there, if it's materials, is it commercial? Is it residential?
yeah.
Is it, plumbing, or is it electrical? Like, and so it's really starting with those 3 key levers and then just getting deeper and deeper. So you know what's wrong. You know kind of how to drive profit because, oh, my commercial materials are way out of whack. I can't make money till I solve this problem.
Yeah, and the challenge is some contractors find out how good the business is doing by opening up the ledger on the checkbook to
The,
see if there's money
the,
in the
the
bank.
bank
And
account. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, that is the scariest place to be
Scary.
in the
Yeah.
world
Yeah.
because one bad month and you could be out of business, right? Because not having an accurate
Yeah.
balance sheet so that I can see what my debt to equity ratios are, see
Yeah.
what my current ratios is. Like those things matter. And the challenge is, and I'm just saying this, and I hope I'm not being offensive, but
Yeah.
for every contractor that's out there and you don't have the answer, for every day you continue to delay to not know that, it's super volatile for yourself.
Yeah.
So just running off the checkbook only works when you've been making money. And quite frankly, I've seen this, Spencer.
Yeah.
People have money in the bank and be broke.
Yeah. No, so I totally agree. The example I use is it's Wednesday and I don't have enough for payroll on Thursday. Like
Mhm.
that's the problem when you're running it off the bank because it's just when do checks clear and that type of thing, and
Yep.
that's just noise. I'm actually less of a fan of things like the current ratio or things like that. I'm not a ratio guy. The reason is because I don't always know what to do with ratios. I mean, okay, yes, I'm a CPA and I do. I'm just, as a contractor. The question is, like, more importantly, do you have a cash flow forecast? Can you look out
Yeah.
3 to 4 months to know, do I have enough cash to run the business? So I'm not worried. If I have a cash flow problem in 2 months from now I have time to deal with it. If it's literally for payroll on Thursday, now I'm screwed. I'm like, what do I do? And then I, have another meltdown. I've had, I've owned businesses for nearly 30 years and I've had plenty of meltdowns because of surprises. When you get a surprise in your business, it's never a good surprise, right? It's always
Yeah.
like a kick in the ass surprise.
Yeah.
So, but I totally agree. If you don't have that clarity or running off the bank, again, you can kind of do it when you're small. But when you start to get, start having a team, start having payroll, start having payables, start having larger jobs, it's just the stress related to that is so high.
Well,
Just how do we get rid of
and the
that?
complexity that goes with it,
Yeah.
right? So it's no
Yeah.
longer just, because I'll hear things like, "Oh, I'm the only person that has a credit card," or "Hey, I'm the only
Yeah.
person that does this." It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, but at
Yeah.
the same time, your business is never going to grow if you're the only person that has access and knows how to do that. Gosh, I mean, what do you think, Spencer, from your standpoint? What do you think causes contractors to kind of shy away from financials? And by the way, before you answer, this is
Yeah.
not to blanket statement that all
Yeah.
contractors
No.
don't know. So this is not
No.
the conversation, but it's by and large, Spencer, when members come to us, it is 100%. I don't care what's going on in the business. I need
Yeah.
financials. I need to see
Yeah.
what's going on. And that's how
Yeah.
important they are to us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the you asked, what makes them shy away from it. If I can just shift that a little bit to like, why is it such a problem? And I think again, and if we talk about, and I know a lot of members, existing members or members looking to join blue collar are probably in that kind of tipping over 1 million to 2 million, kind of moving into double digits of millions. And so, when you think about it again, I'm going to use kind of like building a house as the example, not from a foundations of the house, but you've got general contractor, you've got sub trades, and you've got laborers. Everybody knows that. We don't have to dive into that. But the same stack exists in accounting. And I think this is what's often missed is at the bottom of the stack is the transactional function. That's the day-to-day stuff that you hated when you went to do your accounting courses that nobody likes doing because it's boring and repetitive. Unless you're a bookkeeper, you probably like doing it because you're the type of person that likes to do that kind of thing. But that's the transactional function. Above that is a reporting and compliance function. And reporting is self-explanatory. It's your financials, your cash flow forecasts, your budgets, which not everybody has, but it's the compliance that's missed. And that's setting up the procedures in the accounting department, selecting the right systems, building your chart of accounts so data can be extracted for analysis. It's kind of stuff. It's overseeing the bookkeeper, making sure they're doing the job. And at the top is the strategic function, really thinking about the business through a financial lens, 3 years out, 5 years out. Do we have enough money? What if we change our pricing strategy? What if we open a new location? What if we sell? Those types of things. So if you think about those two stacks, right, we would never build a house without a general contractor, subtrades, and a laborer. But because we're a $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 million business, we can't afford a CFO, controller, and bookkeeper. So what do? We hire a bookkeeper running our entire business. And again, it might be my wife, it might be my mom, right? And we expect them to run our accounting department. That's like hiring a laborer to build you a house. You'd never do it. You just would never do it. Like you're spending however much to build a house. Well, you're spending how much to run your business. And so that's such a problem is as a contractor, we go to our bookkeeper expecting them to run our accounting department. That's like me who knows nothing about construction, hiring a laborer to build my house and expecting to have a nice house at the end of the day. So we get frustrated. We see things like, my accountant never told me that, or why didn't they tell me? And it's like, well, because you went to the laborer to get your electrical installed. That's why they didn't tell you, because nothing against bookkeepers. You need bookkeeping, but it's just part of the picture. So I think from just a resource perspective on how do I actually break out of this frustrating cycle, that's one of the biggest barriers right there. I don't know if that was you're looking for the question I answered, but it felt relevant for almost every contractor I've ever talked to.
That is the best allegory that I've ever seen painted the picture of how accounting is laid out. And as a contractor, they'll focus on the bookkeeping component because that's kind of the part that they know they need to do.
Yeah.
And the business suffers if they don't. But I'm thinking now, as you just position that, the business also suffers when you don't have those other layers.
Yeah.
It just doesn't show up as quickly, right? It shows up later once the business is grown. And I'll never forget this, Spencer. I was talking to a contractor and I said, "How are things going?" "Man, things are going great." "Really?"
Yeah.
How's sales?" "Oh man, we're crushing it in sales." "Okay."
Yeah.
"How's profitability?" "Dude, we're making tons of money." I said, "Really? What's changed?" And he couldn't tell me. He couldn't tell me what had changed. And I said, and it was at that moment where I recognized that not making money and knowing why you're not making money is scary. But making money and not knowing how you're making it is even scarier, because that seems like such a slippery slope, because that's the one that kind of lulls you in, and then surprise, you're filing bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So I'm
Because I thought
not trying to
everything was going well.
Yeah, like I'm by the way, we hope that doesn't happen, and I'm not trying to scare contractors, but I'm saying, for me, Spencer, every time I've seen a contractor that has a very well-run business has a strong accounting department.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep.
Every time I see, if it prints cash, it's predictable, it's got a strong accounting department. And so
every once in a while there's the exception that proves the rule, but generally speaking, and we run into this where a lot of people that come to us are already struggling with cash flow. And so it's like, because I don't know what I need to do to pull the levers, or which lever I need to pull, where do I need to focus my energy? So it's just so frustrating when you're in that situation, and it just feels paralyzing, because it's like, I don't know how to get out of this mess. Right?
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's just super
yeah,
frustrating.
it's a mess that I've gotten into, and I don't even know how I
Yeah.
got into it, right? Why don't you do me a favor though, Spencer? I think it'd be pretty helpful because I know number one, I know you're a super smart guy, I know that, but I also know you're a very caring guy and that you like to give and help and do. What might be some good advice for someone watching this, whether they're in decent financial shape or they think they're in
Mhm.
decent financial shape, or potentially they know that they're in a bad spot. What would you kind of recommend that they start focusing on?
Yeah, I think the two things, it comes back to the levers for me. If you can just really think about those key levers, back to your example of a contractor who's making money but doesn't know how. Is it sales driving that? Is it my margin or is it my expenses? And if looking at that to me compared to last year, nice trend. Am I better or worse than last year? And compared to budget, if you have one, right? The last year's a good proxy if you don't have a budget. I would love to magic wand everybody have a budget. It's really helpful when you can see last year compared to this year compared to budget.
Oh yeah.
So if I can get it, if I can just start, if you're like, where do I go? Those three levers, turn them into pictures, right? One line shows you this year, one line shows you last year, one line shows you budget. If you don't have a budget, you only have two lines. Am I going better or worse in this lever? Am I go better or worse in the second lever or the third? Again, sales,
Hmm.
gross margin, and expenses. And for each of those, you can now go to whoever's responsible and say, okay, our gross margin is worse than last year. Why? Our expenses are worse than last year. Why? And just start going layer down, starting with make it simple. Which of my levers are the problem and what's driving that? If you can do that using pictures, that's going to make a big difference in
Hmm.
how you're able to relate with the books. Um, there's, it's a few years old. All of the sort of charts and graph recommendations. I'm not selling books. I'm happy to give you Chris books to give away. It's for the $4 I make off a book. It's
Yeah.
it's not my intention. But Entrepreneurs is a book I wrote specifically to help this. And it really goes step by step on kind of what are the keys. It's a bit outdated now. I probably should do a V2 because it really talks about technology, and technology is changing so fast that it's outdated. But
Yeah.
in terms of the outcome of like what pictures and graphs and how to actually understand the levers, that to me would be
Hmm.
the easiest place to start.
Well, Spencer, we've talked a lot about numbers,
Mhm.
financials. Let's talk about Shift for a minute. Like, let's talk
Sure.
about what you guys do. Well, how do you guys help contractors?
Yeah, so we are the accounting department. So we go in, we become the bookkeeper. If there's a current, so typically we free up whoever's the existing bookkeeper. Often the wife doesn't want to do it anymore. It's stressful. The business has gotten bigger than maybe what they're capable of handling. So we become the bookkeeper. We implement some tools and resources to do the communications remotely. All of our clients are fully remote. We have clients across the U.S. and Canada, pretty much every jurisdiction. We don't do taxes because of that, but we become the bookkeepers. And really, it's the insights that we really focus on. So we'll make sure the hygiene is good. The hygiene is the basic stuff. It has to be done right, it has to be done on time. But that's not what it's for the contractors. It's the insight. So it's actually creating a custom monthly reporting package with that data visualization to help you understand which lever is the issue and what's driving the problem so you can go fix it.
Hmm.
One of the things I like to say is it's the accountant's job to help you see what problems you need to fix in your business. It's your job to go fix it. Sometimes we look for the accountants to come with the answers, and yeah, we can help you. But the reality is, most contractors are really good at solving problems when they know what problem to solve. Go away, talk to your blue collar coach, talk to your buddies, talk to other contractors. You're going to solve the problem. If you know your commercial materials is too high, okay, go brainstorm that. Are we finding new suppliers? Are we negotiating volume discounts? Are we paying early to get early payment discounts, right? How do we sneak 2% into that? Do we need to get competitive quotes? So once you know commercial, if your commercial materials is too high by 3% and you're doing $1 million in that, that's 30 grand. Go figure out how to solve that $30,000 problem. Start solving the biggest problems first. Stop worrying about your meals and entertainment. You're not going to make or break your office expenses or your pens. I know it seems like low hanging fruit. What
Yeah.
is the biggest problem? And it's usually a little more complicated. It's often materials. It's often the supply side. It's often managing labor, managing people. For all of these businesses, the two keys. If you get your job costing right, you get your materials managed, you get your people managed, everything else usually starts to fall into line. We'll have some charts and graphs to make sure nothing goes out of whack. But measuring and making decisions around those is the crux. So that's how we help. We just really help bring clarity to that. We take away the pain of accounting, but really bring those insights to help make better decisions. And like I said before, we typically start with businesses that are around 2, 3, 4 million. We top out around 15. At that size of business, it's really time to bring in an in-house business so you can have somebody to walk down the hall and have those conversations with right away.
But if I'm hearing you correctly, though, Spencer, then you're going to have everything in place so that when it is time to
Yeah,
kind of build my own accounting department, I'll have a lot of things in place. And
yeah.
so, and
And we'll graduate you to having somebody
yeah,
in
and
house.
I'm
We'll have
personally
built the procedures. We'll have
personally love to
built the
vouch for
cash
you
flows.
guys
Yeah,
of
thank
just
you.
how good y'all are, just good human beings, and I love to work with people that get it,
Yeah,
and they're
thank
good
you.
people, right? So working with people that are jerks never a fun thing. So
Nope,
every interaction, Spencer, has been absolutely nothing but a pleasure with you and with your
thank you.
team. Any kind of final departing thoughts here for us today for our audience?
Yeah, I mean, I'll come back to something I said before. Really helping contractors through their financial blind spots so that you can change the world. Like there's almost always another something more than money. And again, it has a lot of meaning. And I think as a business owner, we deal with a lot of stress. I know I've been a business owner for a long time, a lot of stress, and actually really being able to like have the impact we want out in this world. Again, if it's to make a better life for your family, contribute to the community. Some people are involved in a church, some people are involved, whatever that is. Having a solid foundation makes stepping into purpose that much better and brings the stress level down. So our why is we believe business owners can change the world, and we're here to help you through your financial blind spot. We love doing it, and would love to connect if that's something we can help you with.
Well, in addition to this, one of the things that I wanted to do, Spencer, membership does have its privileges, and obviously we don't own that. American Express owns that,
Yeah.
but I would say this: as a member, you can locate Shift Financial inside of the vault over on the left-hand side. Go to Elite Buy. From there, you're going to be able to click on that. You'll find Spencer, all his contact information to be able to have that connection. As I said, membership has its privileges, but
And
Spencer, if I'm a
and if you're
non-member,
not, if you're a member and you're not yet on the blue collar dashboard, it's a free tool for members.
ooh,
What it does
yeah.
is it connects to your QuickBooks Online, only QuickBooks Online for the moment. But if you're on QuickBooks Online, it'll actually take all of your data and put it in the blue collar dashboard. So everything is in the format. You don't have to enter it. It automatically, your coach can log in and see it. So when you have your meeting with your coach, they have all the financial data. I've sat in on some of those meetings and see the impact it has. It is a free tool for members, so that's part of that privilege.
Yeah.
Um, I've been working with Jeremy, obviously your guys' head coach, a ton on trying to onboard as many as we can.
Yeah.
And it should really increase the value of your blue collar membership.
Well, not and it also goes back to creates the data visualization for
Yeah,
them to be able to look at that without having to quote sign up and use all your
yeah,
services. They're using some
totally.
of your services
Yeah.
as a member. But you know what, Spencer, I know there's going to be people that are listening, watching this that need your help. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, thanks. Happy to help. Just shoot me a message, Spencer at shiftfinancial.co, not .com. Somebody stole the .com and wants to charge an outrageous fee for it. So I said, I'll go with .co. Spencer at shiftfinancial.co. I'll be back to you right away.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Spencer. I would not be able to do a vendor voice if we did not end with my favorite part of all the vendor voice. Love talking to people about contracting business, but I like to get to know the people on the other side of the screen. And the way we do that is through our fun facts finale. Spencer, I'm going to ask you through our fun facts finale. Almost wish I had a drum roll button so I could hit the brrr drum roll. But
All
here
right.
we go. You ready? I'm going to ask you a series
Yes.
of questions. Let's rapid fire this. Number one. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes or no?
Not a chance. No.
Not a chance. Great. Is a Jeep a truck, a car, an SUV, or what is it?
Oh man, I had my first car was a Jeep, and I used to call it a truck. So I'm
Okay,
gonna stick with that.
there you go. You
I
heard
love
that.
driving around without a top on the roof. So yeah.
Spencer, would you find yourself, if there was a karaoke machine and maybe a few alcoholic beverages, would you find yourself at the microphone?
define a few beverages, but
Okay, it was a.
eventually,
Let me
yes.
just say it was a dare. It was a dare for you to sing.
If it's a dare, I'm going to say yes. I
Okay,
can't say no to a
what's
dare.
your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, Ring of Fire,
Ring of Fire. You heard it,
Johnny
Johnny
Cash.
Cash. Johnny. Well,
Yeah,
I say Johnny Cash. There's been a couple of redos on that as well.
of course. No, the
Um,
original. I'm talking about the original.
the original, the
Yeah.
OG. What's the most random thing on your bucket list?
Oh, most random thing. I've always wanted to go to Antarctica. I think it would be such a cool experience to
Antarctica.
go there. I have no plans, but it's sort of always just been at the tip of. It's just sitting in my consciousness.
Well. I hope that this vendor voice and fun facts finale is bringing
Yeah.
that speaking it into existence. Let me go. Last one. You ready?
Okay.
If you could swap lives with any animal for one day,
Hmm.
which one would it be?
Oh, it's hard to not choose an eagle.
Ah,
Being able to fly and soar and go places that I can't otherwise. I was going to say a mountain goat originally because I love being in the mountains.
okay.
Um, and they climb up some crazy stuff, but I just
Agree.
think an eagle I can see and go further.
Spencer, you know what's crazy? There is a family of there's a couple of bald eagles, a male and female that live very, very close to my house, and we see them all the time.
Yeah.
We were in right when we started recording. I looked out my window, and right across the street on a power pole is a bald
Okay.
eagle that is setting over there
Wow.
right now. So that's pretty
Amazing.
cool. Spencer,
Yeah.
thank you so much, my friend, for your time. Once again, thank you for tuning in to another vendor voice with us at the Blue Collar Success Group. Just being able to drive value to your business through video and featured content. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. And if you like, post and comment, of course, we engage with you and we look forward to seeing you guys again in another vendor voice. Take care. Hey, I want to take an opportunity to say thank you for watching this video and subscribing. My question for you is, what are your revenue goals this year? Why don't you drop them in the comments below? And remember this, you're either winning or you're learning.